Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelly Kane, and I'm the Marketing Manager for Wonderware NorCal. Thank you for attending our webinar today, What's New with InTouch and System Platform 2014 R2. After the webinar this morning, we will be doing a short Q&A. Please type any questions or comments into the Q&A box, the chat box, or email us at webinar@norcal.wonderware.com. Now I'd like to introduce your presenter for today's webinar, Mike Lapitan. Mike is an automation industry expert and has been a Wonderware NorCal product specialist for the past 8 years. Good morning, Mike.
Hi, good morning, Kelly. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our webinar on what's new with InTouch and System Platform 2014 R2. Got lots of new exciting things to talk about. And before I do that, I would actually like to point you to our website for folks that are looking for training or our workshop schedule. That's right here on our website, so you can register for training. And we have an upcoming workshop next Wednesday, August 19th, in our San Francisco office called Plant Reporting Made Simple. And we will be going through Historian Client and Dream Reports, showing folks how to use trending tools to do Excel reporting, how to automate reports. Other things that are on our website here, we have a Wonderware Machine Edition, build your own webpage, and this is a new offering from Wonderware. Think of places where you would typically use a panel view or a Seymour panel for a low-cost operator panel. You can build your own Wonderware panel right here online, and there's a 500 tag 15-inch panel starting at around $2,100–2,200. So you can see that's very competitive in this space. And so for your operator panel needs, please let us know how we can help with Wonderware Machine Edition projects. So our agenda today is we're going to take a quick review of Wonderware in the marketplace, then we're going to get into what's new with InTouch and System Platform 2014 R2, including some demos. Specifically in InTouch, we're going to talk about Archestra graphics available right now inside of Window Maker, making it very easy for existing InTouch customers to get access to the latest and greatest graphics, and especially the Situational Awareness Library, which is new as well. We'll talk a little bit about InTouch Access Anywhere, which is accessing InTouch from any device on any web page. In System Platform 2014 R2, we'll talk about automatic I/O binding, saving a ton of time and connecting to PLCs. We'll show you the consolidated object, which helps in engineering efficiency. We'll talk about best practices for alarm management and how System Platform can help you leverage best practices out of the box. And we also can now do a redundant pair upgrade with System Platform, minimizing or taking away downtime during upgrades. So let's get right to it. Wonderware today is used in 1/3 of the world's plants and facilities with 20 or more employees. That accounts for over 150,000 locations, and it is the #1 HMI on the market. So we've been around the longest, since 1987. The lowest risk SCADA solution. You can take your original InTouch application, built in the early 90s, the late 80s, and migrate it forward today, running on Windows 8 or Windows Server 2012, and in fact, we'll actually have support for Windows 10 before the end of the year. It is very scalable, allowing you to start small and grow over time, start with a single computer and grow to give more people access to the system as you need, and add functional capability as your business requires, and that includes things like MES, OEE, energy management, workflow capabilities. So Wonderware really has the best-in-class overall functionality to add over time, future-proofing your SCADA system so that if you have a need, the platform can accommodate that. Wonderware NorCal, we're your local Wonderware resource. We have been since 1992. We provide local training out of San Francisco and on-site at your location. Lake Forest in Southern California is where Wonderware headquarters and development is based out of, and they have a full-time training facility down there as well. We offer free workshops in San Francisco, as I mentioned. We have one next week on Wednesday, and we can offer those workshops on-site at your location. We have local technical support. We provide system consulting, application design, best practices, and licensing sales. And we have over 70 registered system integrator partners here in Northern California. So we are go-to for all of your SCADA and manufacturing automation questions. Our local tech support is very good. We've got a great reputation with our customers that our folks really know their stuff. They've been with us a long time, and it's very important to our customers. If they have a question, they can get it answered right away here in the same time zone with folks that are very knowledgeable on the products. All right, so here is a summary of the new features. You can see that there's quite a bit. We're not going to get through every single one of these, but we're going to cover the highlights. So to back up, In InTouch, we're going to talk again about Archestra graphics and Window Maker. We're going to talk about InTouch Access Anywhere, the Situational Awareness Library graphics. We're going to talk about best practices in alarming with System Platform and Application Server. We will talk about the new object editor and the automatic I/O assignment. So InTouch Modern Applications is the power of Archestra graphics with the traditional InTouch ease of use. What that means is we can access Archestra graphics right inside of Window Maker. And why use Archestra graphics? Well, there's what are called custom properties, so you can use those in place of memory tags, which can save you on licensing. Archestra graphics are reusable, so you can create standards, enforce standards, and drive change management through parent template graphics and instance children graphics. So they're more advanced. They have more animations available. They have support for .NET controls and .NET scripting. For programmers out there, that really is handy for integrating with other databases or just other third-party applications or custom applications that require any type of .NET scripting. So out of the box support for the latest Microsoft scripting environment, which is .NET. They're vector-based graphics, which that's a very big advantage over other older style graphics. Vectors just mean the graphics are drawn with lines, and they scale a lot better as you need to go from a smaller resolution on a monitor to a larger resolution or vice versa. So if you build your application built for a desktop and then you want to view it on a wide screen, you want to view it on a tablet, the vector-based graphics really do a lot better job in shrinking and growing as needed based on the screen you want to display them on. So there's all kinds of other things that are great about Archestra graphics, including wizard editors and ability to create your own wizards, element numeric styles. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Connectors and connection points, similar to what you would have in Visio for connecting lines to different graphics and be able to move those graphics around and have the lines follow them. There's several different graphics libraries that are available to you for free, not just the Archestra symbol library, but the Situational Awareness library, the Water and Wastewater Industry graphics library, all available to you right inside of Window Maker now. So it gives you a path to the future for your existing InTouch applications to now leverage the latest and greatest. So you can see here right inside of Window Maker we have the Archestra graphic toolbox available. And now we also have the ability to convert an existing InTouch window to an Archestra symbol. So there's a whole new graphical editor that is exposed that is a part of the Archestra graphic library. So you can create your own graphics, you can customize what we provide out of the box, and now you can convert your existing InTouch windows to Archestra graphics or Archestra symbols so that your existing InTouch window can show up in the Archestra graphic editor. Now it becomes a vector-based window, and you can do the scripting I mentioned with the .NET. It exposes all of the graphical editor capabilities we have for your existing InTouch windows. InTouch Access Anywhere is accessing InTouch from any web browser. So you don't have to install anything on the client, whether that's a laptop or a workstation, a tablet or a smartphone. You can just go to a web page, any of the web pages that you might be using. As long as it's HTML5, you can access InTouch and have it running within your web page, okay? So that's very convenient for folks that are on the go, that need to access InTouch from wherever they are. We've got some great security behind this as well. If you have other questions about that, we can talk about that, but it includes what's called a secure gateway. Allows you to put the secure gateway in a DMZ. So when you want to access InTouch, you first have to go through a secure DMZ, which is not on the SCADA control network. Once you authenticate, then you can the session launches InTouch from within your browser on the SCADA control network. So you're not actually accessing the SCADA control network directly from the public internet. You're actually going through a DMZ. Situational awareness, this is a very important concept to talk about in HMI design and philosophy. So in a nutshell, situational awareness was taken it's been around for a long time. Ever since you know, HMIs have come out, that's been a concept, an idea taken from, you know, if you think about the flying an airplane and being in a cockpit, they talk a lot about situational awareness there because there's so much you have to be aware of, and you really want to be aware of the most important information that is related to doing your job. And what that means is you want to make it as intuitive for the operator to operate the plant in an efficient manner, in a safe manner, and maintaining the maximum amount of uptime. So you want to alert them of abnormal situations and make it very intuitive and easy for them to see if something's running abnormal, so kind of monitoring by exception. So what Wonderware's done is they have invested tremendously in building the situational awareness library so that you can use HMI best practices out of the box, and you don't have to rebuild the wheel. So that includes things like, you see these trend pens, similar to the stock market, like a stock ticker. So encouraging the use of trends in your application. They're very lightweight, giving the operator more context of where have I been, where am I now, what direction am I heading. These things are called polar stars here in the middle, so being able to take several set points, and without the operator having to know what is the set point, how far off set point am I, you can see it more in an intuitive manner that, you know, in this case I should have a perfect diamond or square if I'm on set point, but now I can see I'm deviating off set point, so I can see, you know, that very intuitively without having to have that kind of tribal knowledge of you know, where you know, what's my real-time set point, and where am I at currently, and how do I, you know, how far off am I? So it gives you a more intuitive feel for that. We included what are called alarm borders, and I'm going to show a demo of all these as well. So alarm borders really make it pop to the operator to focus their attention on an abnormal situation. We've also added a historical summary data type, which is very cool. This allows you to do things like, I want to see my 1 hour average for a value. I want to see my hourly flow. I want to see my 8-hour uptime downtime. I want to see my daily max minimum, or my daily flow, my daily total, my daily uptime downtime. So really with drop-down boxes, point and click, I can do these calculations without having to do any custom scripting in the PLC or the HMI. So we'll show you this as well. The connectors and connection points are exposed in the Archestra graphic editor. I'm going to show a demo of this. So let's get to it. And first I'm going to show you InTouch Access Anywhere, web-based access to InTouch. Then we'll show you the situational awareness graphics within that InTouch application and the alarm borders. Then we'll show you how to create a new modern InTouch application to expose the Archestra graphics inside of Window Maker, and how to convert an InTouch window to an Archestra graphic. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to a web page. I've got a shortcut here to my InTouch Access Anywhere web page. I'm right inside of Internet Explorer. This is the InTouch Access Anywhere web page. And again, this can be in a DMZ. So this can be off the SCADA control network. Somebody has to put in their username and password before they actually get access to the SCADA control network. We're going to click Connect. And now you can see I've got InTouch Window Viewer running within my Internet Explorer browser. And this could be within Chrome or Firefox or Safari. And this is full InTouch without compromise. You don't have to do anything to your InTouch application as far as changing it, compiling it, any of that. This is just InTouch running on a server being displayed within a browser. And I can see I've got a alarm border around my filter 100 area. I can see it's a level 1 alarm, so that's a critical alarm. Over at filter 200, I've got a level 3 priority alarm, so that's maybe a medium priority alarm. So what I can do is I can drill down into my filter 100. You can see I'm also showing my hourly average turbidity, so that's that history summary data type we were talking about. And notice that the screen is kind of more grayscale in its design, and that's intentional, right? So that's to make those alarm borders really show up so that it's easy to focus your attention on something that is abnormal. So I'm going to drill into filter 100. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, it's Kelly. We're still seeing the login screen. I think we should be past that by now.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Sounds like WebEx hasn't caught up. I still see the login screen, huh? I'm well past that.
Now I see a blue screen with InTouch Window Viewer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Sounds like WebEx is a little behind here. Do you see the InTouch application with the red alarm border?
Not yet. There we are. Now we see it, and I do see a red alarm border. So.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, sounds like WebEx was a little lagging there. All right. So now I've got a alarm border around my filter 100, and I'm also showing my hourly turbidity here in my history summary data type. And I'm going to drill into filter 100 where I've got a critical alarm. And can you see the new screen here, Kelly?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
So we see the alarms.
Yeah, great, thank you. So here I've got several tanks that are part of my filter 100 area. And so these are situational awareness graphics. And what I can see is my current level in each of these tanks. I can see the shaded target area of where my level should be. And then I can see my actual level line there and what it's been doing over time, so that you can choose the time period if it's the last hour, the last 8 hours, the last day. So I can see what it's been doing over time. I can see I've got an alarm severity here, critical alarm. So I've got this other turbidity type display over here, so I can kind of see, what's my target set point, and then where's my actual value. So where am I in comparison to my set point? Just take you through some of the other example situational awareness graphics. Again, look how many trends I have on this screen here. I've got, probably about 30 different trends on the screen. And you saw the performance, at least maybe hopefully it came through on WebEx. But on my computer, it's very fast, and this is running remotely. This InTouch server, I don't even know where it physically resides in the Wonder cloud, but I just went to a web page, and this is a public website. You can access this by going to intouchaccessanywhere.com and show this to anybody you want to share it with. Check it out for yourself. So these bar charts and these trend pens, these history summary, in this case looking at the last 8 hours of uptime, these are all out of the box now. I'll show you some more examples here, some other dashboards. There's some of those polar stars, some more of these kind of bullet charts with the alarm borders around it. You can see how far off set point I am. So I've got these alarm borders showing up. We've got these gain-loss charts. Okay. So a lot of times these are going to be used in what's called like the level 1 overview display. So this isn't necessarily the operational HMI, but this is just what's going on in my plant and what do I need to focus my attention on. And I can still have my traditional operator HMI here. So this is what we're used to seeing, is our lots of colors and animations and pretty pictures. And you don't have to get rid of these. These can still stay in place for operational control. But adding situational awareness on top of these to give you more dashboard overview to see what's going on with the health of your plant is a very valuable thing. So let's just take a look. I've got another example of an alarm border here. You can see how, because of the design of this HMI, it makes my alarm borders, very apparent, very easy to see where I should focus my attention on. And then I have a new alarm display. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. This is an out-of-the-box alarm display. I can filter for my alarms by area. So if I just want to look at tank 100, I can just see alarms for that specific area. If I want to see alarms for all my tanks, I can go up to the filters area, see all the alarms, and I can sort here by criticality. If it's a critical alarm, a high alarm, or medium alarm, I can just see those severities of alarms. Okay, so that is the InTouch Access Anywhere and Introduction to Situational Awareness graphics that are included with 2014 R2. And next thing I want to show you is how to create. So I'm going to close Internet Explorer, and that just closed my connection to my InTouch application. Okay. So next thing I want to show you is how to access these Archestra graphics from Window Maker. Kelly, did you see me change to a video now?
Yeah. Oh, is that a video? Yep, it's a video. Got it. Yep.
Okay. Excellent. Great. So what I'm in InTouch Application Manager, and when I create a new application, I can choose to create a modern InTouch application, which gives me access to the Archestra graphics, or I can create a legacy InTouch application, which just keeps everything, as it has been, when creating an InTouch application from Application Manager here, I would not get the Archestra graphics if I chose legacy. So I'm going to choose modern, click next, and now you can see I've got the Archestra graphic toolbox right inside of Window Maker. So that includes the Archestra symbols, the Situational Awareness Library, and I could import the Water and Wastewater Industry Pack as well if I wanted to. That's a free download. I can send you a copy of it, or you can download it from the Wonderware Tech Support website. So what I'm doing here is I'm just linking an Archestra graphic to an InTouch tag name, changing some of the labels, go into Runtime, and now I've got Archestra graphics right inside of Window Maker and Window Viewer. And I can convert an InTouch window now to an Archestra symbol. So I'm right-clicking on the InTouch window, and I'm saying Convert to Archestra symbol, and it will convert it. And what I get is my InTouch window inside of the Archestra symbol editor. So here it is. This is the Archestra symbol editor. So it exposes all the graphical tools and editors to now customize this window with Archestra graphics, converts the InTouch window to vector-based graphics so it scales better, and I can add custom properties. I can do custom .NET scripting inside of this environment as well. So very powerful graphical editor. These are the connectors and connection points inside of the symbol editor. So I can draw lines that become dynamic as I move around my objects. So I don't have to constantly redraw my lines as I move things around.
I think we're a little bit behind again, Mike.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. The same.
The timestamp, we're at 1:30 on the video.
Okay. Yeah, no, it hasn't caught up.
There it goes. Now we're at 1:52. So I think we're caught up.
Yep. All right. So let me back up here. Apologize for that. So these are the connectors and connection points. And so as I move my objects around, the lines automatically follow my objects. And I'll go back one more time just to demonstrate that. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm moving my valve object around, and the connector points follow it around. So I can move things around, and I don't have to redraw my connection points. This is showing alarm priority configuration. So I can have alarms be shelved, which allows me to put alarms in snooze. I'm choosing a history summary data type, and this is if I want to do like the hourly averages, the hourly flows. You can see all the different calculations there. And then I'm going to put this into runtime to show my hourly average. So those are the custom properties you see there, and in this case we're just doing an hourly average. Okay. And lastly, we're just going to put that into runtime to see that running. So that's the same InTouch application I was showing you earlier. All right. All right, so I'm going back into PowerPoint, Kelly. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're there.
See that? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so next we're going to talk about system platform improvements in 2014 R2. And so we've improved the user-defined object, and we've consolidated the attribute namespace, which means previously there were 3 different tabs for field attributes, which are attributes that had data coming from PLCs. We had another tab for user-defined attributes, which were just memory tags. And we had another tab for extensions if you wanted to, for example, historize a user-defined attribute. Now we've got all 3 tabs consolidated to one, just called the Attributes tab. And it doesn't matter now if the attribute comes from the field, if it's a user-defined, a memory tag. If you want to add that tag to the historian, configure limit alarms, you do that all from a single tab, single user interface. So it's very nice for engineering efficiency, much more cleaner, streamlined workflow. We also added automatic I/O assignment. What does that mean? It means when I want to connect to my PLC, if I'm using UDTs or user-defined types in my PLC, which is a structured way to configure, program your PLC. For example, you see a hierarchical name here called Reactor 1, and then I've got a drain valve, I've got an inlet valve, an outlet valve, and a pump. What that means is in System Platform, if I create that same model, an object called Reactor 1, and then have an attribute called Drain Valve or Inlet Valve, I don't have to hard code the addressing to the PLC anymore or do any additional referencing. As long as I create a matching model in System Platform, I can automatically bind to the I/O in the PLC. And I'm going to do a demo of this to explain it. Here's another workflow. I've got my hierarchical name in my PLC. I've got my hierarchical structure in Wonderware. And it automatically creates a reference name based on my structure in Wonderware that matches the PLC. I drag that object or that area to my topic, which points to the PLC driver, and it automatically then can read the data from the PLC, and I can verify that. So we'll do a demo on that. If you're not using UDTs in your PLC, you're not using user-defined types, we can do an override from this view. So we can say, you know what, I don't have a tag in my PLC called, reactor1.level. In my PLC, it's called N7:01. I can do an override at this point, and I can just double-click in the box and type in N7:01, and I'm done. Okay, so we're going to do alarm management next. And again, alarm management is very important in running your plant safely, efficiently, minimizing downtime. And there's been a lot of best practices written around alarm management. The Alarm Management Handbook is a very popular one. But what Wonderware has done is they've taken all of the best practices written by the consultants and industry experts, and they've brought the best practices into the product. And so what the experts have said is that you really only need 4 priorities of alarms: critical, high, medium, and low. So we've leveraged that. And then you also have what are called events, and events are logged, but operators don't need to be notified. For example, if an operator logs in or takes something out of auto mode and puts it in manual mode, maybe you need to log that for audit purposes, but you don't need to display that as an alarm. So events would be the 5th type of priority. And you can rank these by operational or monetary impact or environmental risk. And so these are some of the examples of how people might rank the criticality of alarms based on safety, economic loss, or environmental risk, or the operational impact. So we've built this right into the product: critical, high, medium, and low alarm severities, and we've tied alarm borders with alarm border animations directly to these. So the alarm border, basically on any graphic in your application, you can enable an alarm border. If the value in that graphic ever goes into alarm, it will automatically display an alarm border around the graphic with the color that you've specified for that priority. And we recommend just using the out-of-the-box colors. You don't need to change those, but if you have some company-specific colors you'd like to use for your alarms, you can do that. We've added state-based suppression. That means if my plant is in a maintenance state, I can disable or silence alarms, and that way I don't get a bunch of nuisance alarms. So that's very important to minimize nuisance alarms. We've also added alarm shelving. So an alarm shelving means, hey, if I know I'm going to be doing work on a specific area of the plant on a panel, and I don't want a bunch of alarms to show up to my operator that aren't real because we're taking something out of service, I can put my alarming for an area on snooze. And I have to specify how long I want to snooze that for, just like when you hit the snooze button on your alarm clock. So that way you don't have to remember to go back and re-enable those alarms for that panel you take out of service, because that's what happens is folks forget to re-enable the alarms when they've put something back in service. And so how long does it go without the alarms being enabled? So you say, hey, we're going to take this out of service for 3 hours, and you have to give it a reason why you're going to take it, why you're going to shelve the alarm, and that way the operator won't see those nuisance alarms during the time it's shelved. We've added new alarm displays that are out of the box. Again, so you don't have to, you can really start, putting alarm displays in your InTouch application very quickly and easily without doing any configuration, programming. It's literally just drop the graphic into the InTouch window, and just if you want to just see a specific area, you can just find the specific area. Otherwise, you can display the whole, all of the areas in the model, and pick what area you want to see for those alarms. So they're pre-built alarm dashboards. Alarm Advisor is another very cool tool that we have that lets you do alarm analysis as you're trying to get your alarming under control and get rid of those nuisance alarms and that alarm noise. One of the best practices that's been written is that an operator shouldn't have to deal with more than 6 alarms an hour. So every company might have their own kind of expectation or goal. But what Alarm Advisor does is it lets you see how many alarms you're getting, where they're coming from, how often they're coming in. Lots of different alarm analysis. It's right out of the box, works natively against the Wonderware alarm database, and I'll show you that as a demo. So let's take a quick look at the object redesign, the automatic I/O assignment, and the Alarm Advisor. And so Kelly, I'm starting up the video. Can you confirm that you can see the timer running here?
Yep, it's running.
Okay, great, thank you. So this is the new Attributes tab for like a user-defined object. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object here. I've got one, it's called Reactor Skid, and then I've got an attribute called Water Valve. I'm giving it a description, some default labels. What kind of data type is it? And if it's coming from a PLC, I just click that I/O button. If I want to historize it, meaning add that tag to the historian, I just click that history checkbox. If I want to add alarming or statistics, logs, I can just click those boxes to enable that functionality. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do duplication of attributes next. And you see the timer at 3:20, Kelly?
Yes, we're at 3:20.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate some tags. So I'm going to click this duplicate button so I can see I'm duplicating my running attributes. I get running 1, 2, 3, 4. That's very handy if you need to have multiple attributes that are similar. I can duplicate whole groups of attributes at the same time. Next, I can filter on these attributes. If I only want to display, I want to search for ones that have limit alarms. I want to display ones that are logs for history. I can just filter for the attributes that have certain features enabled, or even by the letters, the characters that contain that attribute. Okay, so next thing I want to show you is the automatic I/O assignment. And do you see the timer at 4:42?
Yes.
Okay, great. So notice on the right-hand side here in the IDE, I have a new pane called I/O devices, and this is where my my topic resides, or my my SweetLink client object that points to my DA server. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to see the scan group. So I've got 3 different scan groups associated with this PLC topic: fast, normal, and slow. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some areas and I'm going to drag them to these different scan groups. So I'm going to drag an area to my fast group for my east reactor. Okay, so right now there's no objects in my east reactor. I'm also going to drag my west reactor to my my normal scan group as well. So I've got 2 areas that are assigned to 2 different topics for my PLC scan groups. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an instance of a template that's already got an object model behind it for my reactor skid, drag it to my area, and what happens now is all of those objects get assigned to that PLC topic. So what that looks like is, if you see down here at the bottom under I/O device mapping, all of my objects now automatically get assigned their addressing to the PLC. So if I look at the columns here on the bottom, it says device, so what PLC am I going to get the data from? What's the object name? What's the attribute or my tag name? And I get a resulting reference of the PLC, the scan group, the object, and the attribute. So if that exists in my PLC, meaning if I've got concentrate pump 01.motor in my PLC, I'm done addressing all of my objects to the PLC. I can use the Object Attribute Override tab here. If that tag name is different in my PLC, as I mentioned, if I'm not using a PLC that has structured data types or user-defined types, I could override and just type in N7:01 if that's the address for that tag in the PLC. And then what I can do is I can then validate that the data is good coming from the PLC right from this environment. So there's a validate button, which is the top right check mark button there that you see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click validate, and you're going to see that they're not going to validate. So right now it's saying that the device object must be deployed. So the device object, that's just my PLC topic, my PLC driver. So I'm just going to deploy that very quickly. And once my PLC driver is deployed, I can validate that the data comes through to my objects without deploying my objects. So that's very cool, without putting my objects into runtime. So you can see that the references failed, and that's because, oops, I forgot to change my name of my object to match the name of my PLC. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to say, okay, the name of my PLC is actually R33. So I'm going to change that, and then I'm going to apply my overrides, and I'm going to validate. So you can see now that everything validated, I've got all my values coming directly from the PLC, and I didn't even have to deploy these equipment objects. You can see that I apply that override to R33 for the name of my parent object. And that is automatic I/O assignment. So that is something that is very handy. Our customers have given us tremendous feedback on this capability. No scripting involved. In the past, if you wanted to do automatic I/O binding, you had to use scripting, and there's no scripting involved with automatic I/O assignment. Coming soon, actually, in InTouch 2016 next year, we're working on the capability to do PLC browsing on your network and be able to browse directly to the tags in the PLC, so you don't have to have that I/O list handy or do any retyping in. You can just browse directly to the PLC items over the network. So that's coming as well. Last thing I wanted to show you was Alarm Advisor, and I've got another web page that you can go to see this for yourself. Kelly, do we see the Google web page here?
Yep, we're there.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to go to alarmadvisor.com, again, a public web page you can go to. And this is another tool that Wonderware has brought into the product portfolio for alarm analysis to really start to troubleshoot, where are my nuisance alarms coming from. So this is an alarm dashboard, so I can see how many alarms I've had average over the 8 hours per operator for my alarm rate reactor. I can see for my alarm rate tank farms. So these are groups of alarms. This is my total number of alarms, the average per 8 hours, so I'm getting a lot. So that's my alarm rate total. If I want to look at the average per 8 hours per operator, I can see, I'm actually got 480 more alarms than I should, based on the target number of alarms and the most amount of alarms I want to be getting. So this is a dashboard. I like the analysis dashboards here. They're a little more, I think, easier to follow here for the purpose of this demonstration. So I can see the total number of alarms I've gotten in the course of a day. In this case, I'm looking at the last 2 months, so I can filter for, any specific alarms, what the alarm contains. whatever period of time I want. I'm going to go to my frequent alarms. So this is my top 10 frequent alarms. Oops, I changed the, I'm going to go to, so this is for the month of August, my top 10 frequent alarms. So I can see that my R31.react level, I've got 5,500 instances of alarm over the course of the month of August. My R31 React temp, I've also got a lot of alarms there. So I can start to see where I should focus on. Do I need to change the alarm limits, the time deadbands? What I want to do is get rid of nuisance alarms because, all too often, operators are just, they're inundated with so many alarms that they just end up having to ignore them because they're not manageable. So they get so many that the real alarms that they should be paying attention to get missed, and that's the real problem. So we've got this thing called standing alarm. So this is an alarm that's been on for more than 15 minutes. And you can set what a standing alarm means to you. If 30 minutes is a standing alarm or, 5 minutes is a standing alarm. So alarms that have been on and not acknowledged for a certain period of time. An alarm that has been on for less than 15 seconds might be classified as a fleeting alarm. And I'm going to go look at the last 2 months here so I can see I've got one fleeting alarm. So that's an alarm that's been on for less than 15 seconds. If that's coming on, I only came in once, so I don't have a lot of fleeting alarms. And then I also have consequence alarms. So this is if I have an alarm and then I have these other alarms that happen within a specified time period. They may be related. So when I have a product level alarm, I've also have a React level alarm that happens. It's happened 200 times. 41% of the time, that React alarm has happened after my product level alarm has happened. So I can see alarms that might be associated with, triggered from another alarm happening first. I can see the number of times it's occurred and percent of times it's occurred when this parent alarm occurred. Okay, so this is configurable in terms of what do you want to classify as a consequence alarm, a standing alarm, fleeting alarm. But these dashboards are built out of the box. So this is something that you can get installed running very quickly against your existing Wonderware alarm database to get your alarming back under control. That's something that's been very popular with our customers here. All right. Are we back in the PowerPoint here, Kelly?
Yes, we're there.
Okay, great. So a couple of new things in System Platform 2014 R2, Recipe Manager Plus. So this is a new way to manage recipes, to version recipes, to send set points parameters automatically down to either your PLC directly, to an OPC server, or through System Platform. So it gives you version control. The professional version allows you to do procedures and more advanced recipe capability inside of this Recipe Manager Plus. So you create formulas with master recipes, and you can edit those, and then you can download them to your equipment. A big advancement in 2014 R2 is the redundant pair upgrade, which means you can do an online upgrade. You don't have to experience any downtime when you're doing an upgrade. So you can basically fail over to a redundant engine when you're upgrading one engine. Once you've upgraded one engine, you can do a force failover back to the upgraded engine, and then the standby engine can get upgraded, so you can upgrade your engines online without having to experience any downtime. So that's a very big deal. We've added autocomplete in the object environment, the scripting environment. So we've got autocomplete. We also have numbering in the script editors for those programmers. We've also added .NET try-catch exception handling. The show hide graphic is now available for InTouch Windows as well. Inside of the System Management Console, we've added a lot more capabilities to do force failover amongst partner engines right from the System Management Console. So I can see the status of engines. force failover, and that's all within the system management console. Okay, so in summary, Wonderware continues to invest tremendously in the HMI and SCADA offering here, and they're continuing to do so. The things that are coming, there's just a tremendous amount of investment, and in fact, Wonderware puts more back into R&D and investment in their products than most automation software companies actually get in total revenue on an annual basis. So Wonderware is entirely committed to InTouch and System Platform and preserving your investment, making sure that you get the most functionality to run your plants the most efficiently and get the most out of your software investment. Again, I encourage you to register for our workshop next Wednesday, August 19th, on Plant Reporting Made Simple. We have an InTouch hands-on workshop September 16th, and then we have Dream Reports training in September and InTouch training in October. And Kelly, do we have any questions? Feel free to type in questions into the chat panel if you have them.
Right. We do have a few that have come in. Is it possible to embed ActiveX controls in InTouch?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. That capability's been there for quite some time. And that's just a matter of from within Window Maker going to the special menu and going to configure Wizard ActiveX control installation.
Okay. How do I get the new versions and license upgrades?
To get the new versions, if you have a current support contract, you can just let us know. Email us at webinar@norcal.wonderware.com or call or email your account manager. We can send you out those version upgrades for free. If you're existing InTouch customer that's fallen off support, we've got programs to get you upgraded at a discount so that you can move your applications forward, supported on the current Windows operating system to get all the current functionality.
Okay. Let's see. Is the System Platform training class covering 2014 R2 yet?
Yeah, it sure is. In fact, we did the first one just a few weeks ago. So the training manual has been updated to take advantage of all the situational awareness graphics and the unified object editor and automatic I/O binding. So yes, both the InTouch and the System Platform classes have been updated for 2014 R2. That's here local in San Francisco and in Southern California, Lake Forest.
Okay. All right. Will 2014 version of Alarm Database Manager work as a service with Windows 7?
So I think the question
with Windows 7, I'm assuming.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that is actually, so InTouch does not currently run as a service in Windows 7, and that basically Windows added a limitation that anything running as a service can't have a user interface, can't have the requirement of having a user interface. InTouch still, really as an executable has to have the user interface running. If you're using System Platform, and that's something that you might be able to add to your existing InTouch application, that absolutely can run as a service and not require a InTouch to be running at all. Now, in InTouch 2016, we are going to be adding that functionality for InTouch to be able to run as a service without the user interface running. So InTouch running as a service, that's coming in 2016 for now. If you need that capability, we can, if you'd like, show you how to do that with System Platform.
Okay. Can you monitor historian tags within System Platform? If so, what is the resulting reference?
Yeah, you can monitor. So if the question is, if you want to look at so the history summary data type that I was talking about earlier, that's one way if you're using System Platform to view the value in the historian. So you can look at the first value or the last value in the time period that you define, as well as any of those aggregated statistical functions. So that would be the preferred way. If you're just using InTouch and not System Platform, then it sounded like the question was for System Platform. But InTouch you can as well, as far as if you want to look at the current value in the historian from InTouch, then there is a way to preface the InTouch tag name with the historian name to look at the real-time value in the historian from InTouch. So yeah, sounds like we'll probably follow up with you just to make sure I understood the question correctly.
Okay. What are the credentials to log into the AccessAnywhere.com website demo? Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to InTouchAccessAnywhere.com, go there. Okay, so I'm going to go to InTouchAccessAnywhere.com. The credentials are listed right here. So the username is mobile1 with a capital M, and the password is Wonderware1 with a capital W. And what you want to do is from InTouchAccessAnywhere.com, click on Workstation. So click on Workstation and then enter those credentials, Mobile1 and Wonderware1. So when you click on Workstation, you'll get the prompt here, and you put in Mobile1 and Wonderware1 to get the demo.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that wraps up the questions.
Okay.
Yes, it looks like it. So thank you, Mike, and thank you, everyone, for attending. If you'd like to review a portion of this webinar, a recording will be available on our website, norcal.wonderware.com, later this afternoon. And thanks, everyone, for attending, and have a great weekend.
Great. Thank you, everybody.